Hello, Internet. Thanks for letting me get weird last week. I didn't have the energy to write out a script for a video, so I just wanted to be weird with my prism lenses. So I did it. I'm also sorry that this video is a day late. I am quite sick, and yesterday I stayed home from school. My only plan was to be productive by making a YouTube video so that I could not feel terrible about myself for just lying around in bed all day doing absolutely nothing. But then my power was off, so could I edit my videos? No. Anyway, to reward you for your patience, here is a topical video because I know you all love those best. I have been trying to write this out for a while and it just hasn't really felt right, but now I've come to the conclusion that it probably won't ever feel right because it's just a reflection on the role that fashion has played in my life and how its use and meaning has changed as I've gotten older. And I'm constantly getting older, as is everyone, so my thoughts on this will never be finalized and they probably won't ever fit into a nicely structured essay, but I just wanted to share my thoughts because I need to get this out of my brain and onto the internet. I've just been thinking about this a lot because I've been wondering how I went from a 13-year-old dork talking about feminism on YouTube to being a 17-year-old dork talking about fashion on YouTube. So, I have unintentionally developed a dress code. If I feel alright and I'm going out, I'll wear something like this. If I feel alright and I'm staying in, I'll wear something like this. If I feel bad and I'm going out, I'll wear something like this. And if I feel absolutely, unbelievably, next level terrible, I'll probably wear something like this. Basically, I've realized that I use fashion as a defense mechanism, and I pretty much always have. Before I was 14, I didn't quite understand style. I wore the same pair of Converse All-Stars every day of grade 7. I forced my orthodontist to make the elastic bands on my braces all the colors of the rainbow, in Roy G. Biv order, obviously. This picture is from my 14th birthday. And my mouth is wide open because I accidentally got punched in the face while this was being taken, but this is the only evidence that I could find of my rainbow braces. My friends had nicknamed me Hipstera due to my unconventional fashion choices. I knew that I felt better when I thought I looked good because I am tragically not unimmune to social norms, but I couldn't quite place my finger on how to use fashion to do that. Then as I started high school, two things happened. One, I was in a school play, and two, I started reading way too much Rookie Meg, like way more than any sane human being should. These two things meant that I was constantly surrounded by this idea that I could be and act and dress weirdly if I wanted to. And I wanted to. When someone applied stage makeup to me and I saw myself with eyeliner for the first time, I was like instantly so in love. At the end of grade 8, I dyed my hair purple and started wearing a disgusting amount of eyeliner, and the try-hard phase of my fashion life began. There's a Michael Kors quotation that really resonates me that says, "Fashion is about transformation. You wake up in a terrible mood, then change your dress or lipstick, and suddenly you've got a different mood." This is very true of how I was dressing at that time. Basically, I didn't like myself, so I dressed up like I was somebody else. So fashion was this big escape for me. I think most people, when they aren't confident in themselves, they tend to dress to blend in, whereas I decided to go the complete opposite route. Because, well, for one thing, I looked up to these girls on Rookie who I saw dressing in these super weird ways. And for another thing, I figured if I just had this crazy weird look to me, then I wouldn't have to deal with people as much because they either wouldn't want to get to know me because I looked crazy, or they would have already jumped to their own conclusions about what kind of person I was, and so that took pressure off of me to like be cool or whatever. In grade 9, my look started to mellow out a lot. I just kind of outgrew that phase, and suddenly I had no idea how to dress myself. I knew how to be weird, how to be a fairy on acid, but how to dress like normal human? I had no idea. There were some remnants of my more #hip phase left over in grade 9, e.g. my massive eyeliner and penchant for extremely bright lipstick, but I pretty much just wore dresses that whole year because whenever I put on pants, they didn't look good on me. The reason for pants not looking good on me was that they were all mid to low rise pants, and I have hips. Mid to low rise pants don't look good on people who have hips. What are you doing? Like, why would you put a horizontal line right across the widest part of your body? That's just not attractive. I mean, if you're trying to be subversive, then yes, go for it. But I don't think grade 9 me was thinking about this. Grade 9 me had just outgrown the subversive fashion phase. Grade 9 me was now like, oh, puberty. I want to be pretty now. I didn't figure out that I have to dress differently from my more straight-bodied friends because I am pear-shaped. for an embarrassingly long amount of time. I used to wear like mid-rise jeans and then peplum shirts constantly, or I would just wear a normal jean and a normal shirt and then put a belt over the shirt. What are you doing? Baby Sarah, high-waisted pants exist. You're welcome. My grade 10 year was the year I really started to figure out how it was I wanted to dress. By this point, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and I was having a really rough go of it, to be totally honest. I still am. Oh, I just got lipstick on my finger. This is why I'm depressed. But this benefited me in that I no longer gave a fuck what anybody thought. So I wore whatever I wanted and whatever made me feel just a tiny bit less crappy that day. And looking good really did help me feel more good about myself and my life at the time. It still helps now, who am I kidding? I remember one time I was wearing a sleeveless mock turtleneck and a toque, and this dude walked up to me and he was like, "What, so your head's cold, but your arms aren't?" And I was like, "You're goddamn right." I just did not care. I guarantee you that at that time I had said something 10 times worse to myself than anything else anyone ever said to me. So in this like weird, messed up, unhealthy way, I was totally invincible. In grade 11, I started making a conscious effort to wear less makeup because I realized that I was no longer using it to be subversive or creative. I was just using it to make myself fit an ideal of beauty that was societally imposed, and maybe not even necessarily what I find beautiful. And that was kind of sucking the fun out of putting on makeup in the first place. Wearing makeup was always this like really calming activity full of self-love for me, because like when you put on makeup you have to be really gentle and kind with your face, and instead of it being this thing that I did for 15 minutes every day that made me really happy and feel good about myself, it was this thing that I did for 15 minutes every day where I'd be like, well, here's a problem, let's cover it up with some shit. Like, don't do that. What do you, stop. I also just wanted to have that wow factor when I did put on makeup. Because if you wear nice clothes and nice makeup every single day, and then you go to some fancy event where you have to wear nice clothes and have nice makeup, you don't look that different. And that's no fun. For me, personally. I definitely 100% think you can wear a full face of makeup every day and be totally confident, but that just wasn't the case for me, and I have found that since I've started to wear less makeup, I have felt better about myself with less makeup on. Like when I was wearing eyeliner daily, I would take my eyeliner off and be like, who am I? I'm not Sarah. But now when I put on eyeliner, I'm like, who am I? I'm not Sarah. Also, now I just appreciate the art of makeup even more because I don't play around with it as much, and when I do play around with it, I tend to do weirder things. Purple lips, anyone? Even now, I'm not wearing very much makeup. My other struggle in grade 11 was feeling like I had to have one defined look. There are so many cool different things you can do with fashion, and I was severely limiting myself in the interest of having one specific aesthetic. Nowadays, I just think that's stupid and I wear whatever I want. I'm also becoming slightly less afraid of wearing things that don't draw attention to my waist. Usually when I wear things that don't cinch in the waist, I feel like a brick with legs, and it's not very cute. It took me a long time to figure out how to properly dress my body type, and once I figured it out, that became my comfort zone. So pretty much all of my bottoms are high-waisted and all of my shirts are crop tops because I know that I look good in that and that's safe. So I'm becoming confident enough in my abilities to dress myself that I'm like trying to experiment a little bit more. But I'm still pretty afraid. Oh, and pro tip that has helped me out with my life. If there's something about yourself that you don't like, so for example, I have a very love-hate relationship with my hair. It's naturally significantly curlier than it is right now. I just had to make it look professional for work. I spent a long time really not liking it. So then I decided to just look up a bunch of hipster blogs on Tumblr where they constantly revlog pictures of girls with super curly hair, and I just swarmed myself with curly hair everywhere, and it just became a part of my aesthetic. So now I don't hate my hair as much. So that could work for you. So yeah, this is a very personal, self-reflective video. Hopefully it's not too boring. I just think self-reflection is important, and I like sharing these things with you people. If you've made it all the way to the end, I'm duly amazed. Tell me about your style journey, if you have one. I'm genuinely curious to know what role fashion plays in your life, because it plays such a big, interesting role in my life, and I have been thinking about this for so long, and now it's my thoughts. I wrote them out and they're in a video on the internet. Yep, so now we can just talk about it, and I'll stop talking, and I'll talk to you in the comments. Okay, bye!